Hey everybody, my name is actually this is Ending the Gaming War podcast, and we want to welcome you today. We have an exciting guest. We're very excited about this gamer that we have. My name is Stephanie Hamilton, and I have here with me
Caroline, and we are moms who are not gamers that actually defend gamers. We're cool.
Yes, we are. All right, so I am excited. I have a family friend here, and his name is Bob Lieber, and I'm going to let him kind of introduce himself.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm Bob Lieber, good old gamer, living here in the warm Great Lakes region. So a little bit about me. I work as a business IT technician at Medallion Lighting. It's a lamp manufacturer in Northeast Ohio. And through there, I do a lot of working interactions for the company that are IT based. You know, the printer breaks down, I fix it. Website's not working, I try and troubleshoot that. Also work with online retailers for our products. So we sell our products online, and I have a lot to do with that. Been married for 16 years to a wonderful lady, and her name's Amy. And let me see what else. So Amy doesn't mind that I play video games, and in so much that I do streaming online for video games. And then some other things that I like to do that aren't gaming related is I like to go fishing a lot.
Oh.
So I do stuff like that as well. So
Yeah, my youngest gamer son, he loves fishing too. So that's cool.
Yeah.
We're proving that there's a balance, people. Even gamers have balance. Come on. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to get outdoors every now and then with the virus hitting. I've been indoors for a long time and getting cabin fever. I want to get outside and, you know, just go out in nature, throw a bobber in the water and spend some time out there. So something I like to do when I'm not working, hanging out with my wife or playing video games.
Yep. I wanted you to mention that you fished. I'm glad you did that.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I actually got to go fishing with Stephanie's son not too long ago. That was pretty fun.
Good stuff. And that's, he loved it. He threw up most of the time.
Yeah. But it was still okay at the end of the day.
Yeah, he was. He really had fun. All right. So now that you've mentioned that you're a gamer, what games, because I know you do a lot. So what games do you specifically play? And then what do you stream? Because I know you stream. So
well, I do like to dabble in a bunch of different genres of video games. Predominantly right now, I'm playing, ironically, mobile games that you would find on your phone. Now, most people would say I have a game on my phone. I play it, you know, when I have some free time around the office or whatnot. For me, I actually use that as an outlet to stream. It's not the only game that I play or stream, but it's the one that I do stream the most, okay? And it's really interesting because there's a huge market for mobile games out there, and there's a lot of people that are looking to consume content in that realm. So mobile games are the predominant gaming that I do right now. But there's other games that I like to play too, like first-person shooters. Overwatch is a really good one for that. That is a very popular competitive game that you can find esports related content for. I mean, I remember watching an episode on TNT where they did a whole tournament for that game. I like playing that. I like playing massive multiplayer online role-playing games where you create a character and you basically live in a world with, you know, thousands of other players at the same time, interacting, doing quests together, you know, generally leveling your character up and living in a world that's all digital based. And then like some other games, action and adventure types. Whatever I currently see on the market that looks fun and I can get my hands on, I like to touch on those.
Okay. So, how many streamers do you have right now?
So I stream regularly on twitch.tv, and at any given moment, depending on the game, I can have between 10 and 50 people watching, which as a smaller market streamer, a non-partnered streamer, as it were, that's actually really good. If I can continually get the numbers like that, I feel like not only am I touching a person out there in a positive manner in terms of the content that I provide, but I'm communicating with people and having fun at the same time.
And what is that game though? What is specifically do you play for people? What's the name of the game?
Well, the one that I stream the most on Twitch right now is called Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. It's a mobile game that you basically pick characters. You collect characters kind of like you would collect trading cards. And the characters have different abilities that allow you to fight bosses or consume the content with the various mechanics that are in it. Because the game has a trading card aspect, you don't actually trade with other players, but because it's like a rarity system, it's always fun to tune in to somebody that is collecting the characters and see what they get when the game releases new characters, and I want to go and try and collect those characters. A lot of viewers come in and they watch and they see, oh, is he going to get that character today? Is he going to try for it? How deep is he going to go to try and get it? So it's pretty fun. I watch a lot of other streamers that do the same thing. So the community is there. That's another thing with a game like that. When you're streaming, there's a community that you will develop, and usually it kind of carries over, it bleeds over into other realms, other streamers. So if I go and visit another streamer who does the same game, he will end up having viewers that come into my channel. So I'm able to interact with those people and say, hey, look at what this person's doing. Isn't this cool? And having a chat and socializing that way. So it's really fun.
We really appreciate this, Bob. And here's why. Every time we have a guest on the show, we end up learning new things. And I didn't realize that about the mobile aspect. And I really appreciate you telling us why you enjoy the game and things like that. So let's go back in time, Bob. And let's really just find out where this all began. So my question is this: what was your very first game as a kid, and then journey through us to where you're at today? We already know what you play today and what you're doing. So just kind of your journey, your first game and your journey.
Okay. Well, I looked at this question that Stephanie sent me, and to be honest with you, it was hard for me to remember what game specifically I played first. But I do remember a specific moment that really caught my attention into gaming. And I wanted to tell that story real quick. So my father had a good friend. They lived just down the road from us. So Dad would pack us up in a car, drive down the road. It was only like a minute drive. And we'd visit his friend. And while we were there, his friend had two children, one that was my age and one that was older. And the older son had a Nintendo gaming system, a Nintendo Entertainment System. And I would regularly watch him play Super Mario Brothers. And I was enthralled in it. And I know that a short time after that, I don't remember specifically if it was for holiday or what the case was, but I remember going to the local Kmart with my parents. Dad had to run into the store real quick, and when he came out, he had a Nintendo Entertainment System that he quickly snuck into the trunk, and we found out about it later. So they went and bought one for me and my brother, and I was so excited. So I believe the first video game experience that I ever had was Super Mario Brothers. That's what I can remember, but the actual first game that I ever played, I don't know. It's been such a long time that I can't remember, but that one sticks out in my mind the most.
That was a great answer. And the irony of it is when we interviewed one of the producers in the Call of Duty series who works for Infinity Ward, she said the same thing, Super Mario Brothers. So I think that played a big part in a lot of people's lives.
Well, it definitely sparked an interest in a lot of young people that were my age. So I definitely know that.
And you know what I think about it, was NES the first like game you could play with multiple people?
I don't believe so. I believe Atari that came out a little
Was
before that had
Atari
that
was the first one?
capability. Yeah. I
Because
believe
I just
Atari
think,
had that.
remember arcade games you played by yourself, or each person played
Right.
their own game. And
Yeah.
so they kind of, Atari and them opened up that it would be multiple people playing the same game instead of
Right.
one.
Yeah.
Interesting. I never thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're involving more people, not just you standing there playing your own game. That's interesting. Okay, so I want to know, what was your wife Amy's reaction when you told her you? Oh, okay. So wait, before we get to that, so Kara asked your journey. So when did you start doing more and more of the streaming and the mobile games and all that stuff? When did that start?
Streaming started, I'd say, about 5 years ago. I've always had an account on Twitch to watch people, but this is a very ironic story. One day I got a notification from a friend who started playing a game. If you use some platforms for gaming, you'll get notifications on who's playing what. In this instance, a friend of mine started playing a game I'd never heard of before, and it sparked my interest right away, mostly by the name itself. The name of the game was Fishing Planet.
Oh,
So a little bit of irony there. I've always had a love of fishing. It's always been interesting to me. Although I didn't really fish in real life, I saw this game and was interested and started playing around with it. Ran into some people who streamed it, and that sparked my interest to try and stream it myself. So I tried a little bit. The technology I had, the hardware I had wasn't really up to snuff, but I did it enough that it really interested me enough. I wanted to do it. I wanted to try delving into it more. So I would buy a camera here, a new microphone there, build myself up a little bit of hardware just to get into the game. And from there, it's just finding new titles that were interesting, making sure my computer was capable of not only running the games, but streaming them. And mobile games don't take much because they're on a phone. You literally either create some way to mirror your phone to your computer, capture it and share it, or
Wow.
use software that's called emulation. It basically creates a pseudo phone on your computer that you're able to use, just like a phone. It doesn't have a phone number. It can't make phone calls, but everything you can do on a phone internet-wise, such as playing a game, you can do on an emulation.
oh,
And so copying or creating an emulation and screen sharing it onto a stream was really easy. And from there, that's literally where it led me today. So.
Okay, now why do you think, what's the connection of people wanting to watch you play and other people play? Why do you watch? What's the purpose in it?
For me, it's always been about learning information. If I'm playing a game that's constantly changing, like the Final Fantasy Brave Exvius game, new characters are coming out all the time. New trials and fights are coming out all the time. I want to learn how to beat that fight. I want to learn which of the new characters is worth using in terms of how I like to play the game. If there's a new character that comes out that fits in well with how I play, then I want to try and get that character. And learning that information from streams, from other players, gathering all that data is very good in terms of how Twitch works. And that's just coming from the mobile scheme of things.
Yeah.
Other games that I like to go and watch, it's just for the sheer entertainment value. Just for example, I have a friend that streams Grand Theft Auto 5. He plays on a server online with 100 other players. And the interactions that he has while he's streaming it is it's hilarious. It's fun to watch. He plays a cop character. He's chasing somebody who's speeding down the freeway and he's trying to pull them over, and just the whole interaction there, I find entertaining. It's like watching a TV series, only in real time. And that to me is another reason why I love to do that.
Huh. That's cool. Okay. So now let's go back to that question. What did Amy, your wife, say when you told her that you really liked gaming when you first started dating?
So I actually went back and I asked her this question the other day after I received it. because I was curious, what did
Yeah.
she actually think? And this was the answer she gave me, that I never actually told her I was a gamer. She learned that. She learned it just by being near me. So I met my wife at one of my first jobs. I worked at a toy store when I was in my 20s, and she worked there as a cashier. And just by the conversations I would have with my fellow employees that were also gamers, she kind of learned, hey, this is what I'm getting into when we started dating. She already knew that ahead of time. So it wasn't that I told her, hey, I'm a gamer. It was that she learned based on conversations and my interactions around the store that we worked at. So,
Okay.
yeah,
So,
I asked her that. I was really curious what she thought, and I wanted to get the answer right. And that's what she told me. I was, okay.
that's
Sounds
cool.
okay.
And she chose to love you.
Yeah,
and she got to know you.
She
She
did.
got to know you. It wasn't, hey, I'm a gamer. You actually,
Right.
she got to know who Bob was.
Yeah. So
Okay.
to add to that a little bit, I have tried sharing my gaming hobbies with her. She's not a gamer. She's not. Like, a board game is fine for her. She loves playing board games, but video games, I don't want to say she's not good at, but she doesn't like them as much. We used to play Mario Kart together online with other players, and it was always fun. She always enjoyed it. She would always tell me she's not good at it. And I'm not going to say whether or not that's true, but she would always say she's not good at it. So she wasn't as into it as I was, but she didn't mind it. We'll put it that way. She didn't mind it.
Yeah.
She
And
just
does.
doesn't
She
share
likes
it.
to play.
Yeah,
Go
she
ahead.
doesn't share the love that I have of playing video games. So,
And that's okay.
yeah.
But she does enjoy the game experience. Like, she likes playing games. I mean, that's,
Oh yeah, absolutely. Sit her down with a board game and she absolutely loves it. So,
okay. So do you have an agreement with her about this passion or hobby of yours?
that is another thing that I asked her, and I have to say, she does let me off the leash a little bit more than she should. She doesn't altogether like my gaming habit because of how much time it takes up. I try for my part to cut it off as much as possible, but sometimes I get too, and as mothers of gamers, you know how gamers get. Even me at an older age knows that if I get too enveloped into a game, I can really get sucked in and lose track of time. So she doesn't like that when that happens. But she doesn't come in here and grab my arm and pull me out and say we're going or anything like that. I think she understands it because of my personality, that I am the type of person who will lose track in a game. And so she gives me that much. But see, here's where I kind of give back to her. I try and limit myself as much as possible, and I have a lot of responsibilities, especially as an adult.
Yeah.
There's a lot of responsibilities that I have to make sure that I'm taking care of. I work during the day, so I've tried not to play, especially since I'm working from home right now. I don't play on my computer during those times. If other things around the house need handled, I try as much as I can to take care of those. The typical take out the trash, do the dishes, make the bed sort of things that may creep up in anybody's life. But I have to admit, and she will definitely agree, I do miss the mark. And it's something that I personally struggle with. I try really hard to remember to take care of those things. And I'm sure a lot of younger people would have the same feelings. You do lose track of time at sorts when you're enveloped in a game that's attracted your attention and you're diving deep into it. But like I said, I really try really hard to make sure that the important things that are supposed to be done are handled. So I'm definitely giving her that much. And I think she knows it partially, at least that I'm trying, and gives me the benefit of the doubt some of the time.
I love it. Well, the irony is we said we are going to tell this story. Bob's like, hey, Stephanie, are your kids gaming right now? Because your connection's not that great. And he's like, why don't you just, kindly ask them to stop? And Stephanie's like, I can't, I don't want to. So we get it. And spouses have to get it too, that obviously on our end, we care and understand how important it is too. So I just thought,
I think the big takeaway is moderation. Like I try, it's funny lately for the last few years, I think, especially since I started streaming, I've created with my wife, and I say, look, these are the times that I'm going to be streaming. If something comes up that's important that you would like me to skip the streaming for, that's okay. Just let me know, because I have this schedule and I want to keep to this, but at the same time, I'm trying to cut back on my gaming so that I can do other things. It's like Stephanie was in town about 3 weeks ago, and there were some moments that came up where we were doing stuff with family, and I told Amy, it's fine if we're doing stuff with family. I'm okay with that. And so I'm not only moderating the amount of gaming that I'm doing when I don't have a schedule, but at the same time, I'm making those compromises when I do have a schedule for the very important things, which I'm hoping is helpful.
Yes, actually, this is very helpful. You know why? We're coming from a different side. Like, we're hopefully mentoring people with younger kids.
Mm-hmm.
And here we have a very bona fide, efficient adult who's still gaming and having the respect of those around him that love him. Okay, quickly, we just have a few minutes left on this podcast. I have one more question. Stephanie has one more. So mine is, if you could just sum it up, what do you wish that people knew about gaming or gamers from people who don't game, right? Like, what do you wish people that don't game would understand about gamers?
So I actually have a semi-good example of this, but to answer it, it's that gaming has a social interaction within it. Okay, you might see a child sit in front of a computer or a television with a gaming controller, and doesn't even matter what the game is. They're playing the game for a few hours, a few days, whatever the amount of time they're sinking in it. You just see them spending their time, even by themselves, sitting there playing a game. But when that child would walk away from the game later and they run into, say, a friend, or specifically with our day and age with the internet, if they're online and they're communicating with people online, there's a social aspect that they're sharing their gaming experience with other people, And the example that I like to give is, well, Stephanie's kids, they're way younger than me. I mean, I'm old enough that I could be their father. And I have a connection with them about video games. I talk to them regularly about video games. We have similar interests. The one day I went over to visit, I went upstairs where the boys were and sat down and started playing games with them. And it was a social interaction that I had with them because we had a similar interest. And there are other people out there that are going to have similar interest with them. So for them, or for any child who's playing a game, that's giving them a window into a world where they can talk to other people and learn how to interact with them and not feel ashamed or bothered by, hey, I have this hobby that I enjoy, because they'll have that connection with that person. So I feel like that is a very important thing that people who don't game, parents that don't understand, would really need to learn, is that it's a great tool to have their child come out of their shell and talk to people and interact and socialize. So
yeah, that's good. All right, well, it's okay, but we're gonna have to wrap it up. But any final thoughts, Miss Kara? Or no, I'll go with my final thoughts.
Okay.
I have enjoyed getting to know Bob, and I love that he is a gamer and he has a job and he loves his spouse, and he's trying to balance it all. And I love that you're an example to my boys as well. And I appreciate you coming on. And I love all the answers you gave with the spouse. Those were really helpful.
Thank you.
I had an epiphany in today's show, Stephanie and Bob, that I'm very social. My number one strength is woo. I like to win others over. And my epiphany today is, why am I not a gamer? I got to figure some game out so I can get to know people and have social interaction. So that was my thought of the day.
There you go.
How about you, Bob?
I don't know. I don't have really anything else to say. I do appreciate you giving me the opportunity to sit down and talk to you. I hope I'm able to help your listeners and viewers out. And, if they have questions, they can always reach me out. I do have a Twitch channel. Is this the part where I can plug that? Or
yes, please.
Sure. Oh, absolutely. So I do stream on Twitch, mostly on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, with a few additional surprise streams mixed in. I can be found at twitch.tv/GenieWH. That's GenieWH. And if people want to come, I try to be so wholesome and friendly to people. Family friendly environment. People want to come and hang out. That's great. So they can always come and ask me questions if any parents have questions about their children in gaming. My community is pretty helpful as well. So they can always come and ask them too. So.
Well, that means a lot to us. So I'll wrap us up here unless you have anything else, Steph. Okay. I want you to know that our whole goal as the moms on this podcast is to have that family-friendly component. So thank you for doing that, Bob. Mm-hmm. And you've been with us at Ending the Gaming War. We will put your Twitch link we'll type it in as we put this out there. And we want you to subscribe, share with friends, be a part of this group that ends the gaming war. See you in our next episode.